A very important type of financial asset, that is a bond. We'll answer these questions first. What is a bond? A bond is just an IOU. It's a piece of paper that guarantees the holder of the bond two things. Regular interest payments every year is number one, but also getting the value of that bond back when it matures, the face value of the bond back when it matures, i.e. when it's owed back to whoever has it. Who issues a bond and why? Well, there are two major economic agents that will issue bonds. You've got governments who need to raise finance in order to finance their spending in the economy, on infrastructure, on education, on health and welfare. So governments that don't have the tax revenues to fund their spending will need to borrow. Issuing bonds is one way they can do that. Corporations as well, firms who are looking to invest, if they don't have the retained profits to invest, then how else can they gain that finance? They'll need to borrow money, and issuing corporate bonds is one way in which they can do that. So the reason why is simply to raise finance when governments and firms don't actually have that finance available to them right now. They can issue bonds and borrow. Then that begs the question, who on earth will want to buy a bond and why? Well, anybody can buy a bond. An individual can buy a bond, no matter where they're located in the world. They can buy a UK government bond, for example. Firms can buy bonds. Governments can buy bonds from each other. Anybody can buy bonds, and the reason why really is twofold. The yield on the bond, the return on the bond, might be better than the return on other financial assets out there in the economy. So that's a very important factor as an investment for somebody. But also because it's safe. Take a government bond, for example. Governments are very unlikely to go bankrupt. Yes, there are one or two examples that we can think of, but it's rare for the UK government, for example, to go completely bust and therefore not pay back whatever bonds that they've issued, right? Very rare. And think about most other financial assets. To give you that kind of security is unheard of. So that's again why some people might want to buy government bonds, for example, as a safe haven for their money, guaranteeing a certain rate of return, which might be a very lucrative rate of return. Let's go straight to what a bond looks like. What I've drawn here is a UK government bond, and there are four things that will be on this piece of paper, on this IOU. You've got the name, and in the UK, the individual name of a government bond is a treasury, but the collective name for government bonds in the UK is gilts. You've got the coupon. The coupon rate is the interest rate that is paid based on the nominal value of the bond annually, but this coupon rate is fixed over the duration of the bond. That coupon rate will not change, so we've put here 5. So that is £5 every year that is going to be paid to whoever holds this bond. So it is actually a percentage rate, but it's a percentage of the nominal value. If the nominal value is 100, and that's £5 worth of interest paid every year for the duration of the bond. That is fixed. You've got the maturity, and that will be a year. That's basically when the bond expires. That's when the government has to pay back this bond. Crucially, when the government pays back the bond, they pay back the nominal value of the bond. So upon maturity, the holder of the bond gets the nominal value back. I've said 2022, that's assuming that this bond is a 5-year government bond. I'm making this video in 2017. So 2022 is 5 years down the road. That means that this bond is a 5-year government bond. These government bonds can range in maturity. You can have 1-year government bonds, 3-year government bonds, 5-year government bonds, 10-year government bonds, 20, 30, 40-year government bonds, all kinds of different durations. And then you've got the market price of the bond. Remember, if we look at capital markets, you've got primary issue markets and you've got secondary markets. Bonds can be bought and sold, and if they're bought and sold, they'll be bought and sold in the secondary issue markets, at which point the market price of the bond is important. And the market price is simply determined by demand and supply for that bond. When you buy this bond fresh, you buy it at the nominal value, but then if you wanted to sell it, you'd sell it in secondary capital markets, and you'd sell it for whatever the market price is, and that is determined by demand and supply. Okay, this nominal value is really important, and it's important that we differentiate now between the nominal value and the market value. You might think, well, this is really confusing. Why is there one price here and another price there? Well, very, very simple understanding is this. When you go and buy a bag of carrots in the supermarket, you know you want to buy 1 kilogram of carrots. But if you go to Asda, you might be being charged a certain price. If you go to Tesco, you might be being charged a different price. But you know that what you're getting, regardless of the price that you're paying, is 1 kilogram bag of carrots. Well, that's exactly what the nominal value is telling us. The nominal value is just telling us what this bond is and what the end worth of this bond is. So if you hold this bond, you have got a piece of paper that is worth £100. That's the nominal value of it. Okay, what you buy it up for might be different, right? The market price might be different to that, but what you're getting is a bond that has a nominal value of £100. That's going to give you £100 back when that bond is matured. That's all the nominal value is there for, really. And that's why the market price can differ.